We need to understand that new home construction in Ontario has slowed down, all types, by the way, whether it's multifamily, condo towers, single family, townhouse, you name it. Effectively everything but subsidized housing has slowed down to a crawl. Sometimes just plain stopped. I've talked about it before. In the GTA, 70 sales offices to pre-sell high-rise condo towers, to sell those units, have opened and then closed. They closed. They were unsuccessful. They could not sell anywhere near enough of the units, and they're closed. So those towers are not being built now. Every single tower that is completing, those crews have nowhere to go. Maybe they go to Alberta, Quebec, I don't know. But they probably won't have anywhere to go in Ontario. Now, what about the low rise? No, but we stopped low rise building about 14 months ago. Sure, there's houses completing. They were started a long time ago. Some low rise houses like single families and semis and towns, they actually started a while back. There's some of them that were really delayed during COVID, but most of them are between 16 and 18 months. Some go as long as 3 or 4 years because of the COVID delays. But those are completing now, but there's no new ones starting in Ontario. Sure, there might be a few smatterings of projects in Lindsay or Ottawa or Windsor. I don't know, a little bit, small scale. Nothing in Southern Ontario, virtually nothing. So what does this mean? Oh, and other provinces? Yeah, there is a slowdown going on in British Columbia. I mean, things are still moving in Alberta, although I hear whispers of some slowdown there. Things are going okay in Quebec, but yeah, not in Ontario and British Columbia. British Columbia is not as bad. British Columbia, Dave Eby and the provincial government and a lot of builders took a lot of positive steps on the CMHC program. It's designed to build multifamily rentals, purpose-built rentals. We had the same thing in Ontario. There was a bunch of purpose-built rentals started. And unfortunately, that program has now crashed in those two provinces because they changed the program about 3 months ago, so that now it just doesn't really work because of using a super low rent requirements, going back to 2019 for average rents. And yeah, that just doesn't work here anymore. So that program has really come off the rails in Ontario and British Columbia. So what does it all mean, though? So, people always say to me the same thing. Like, Ron, there's a housing crisis, and you keep telling us that they're building fewer homes. Well, we are sure as shit going to find out in 2025 that we're building a lot fewer homes. It's just going to be a simple fact. So what does that mean? Well, in Ontario, particularly in the GTA, it means that once we deal with the 20,000 extra condo units that are coming on stream in the next 18 months, 24 months, once we deal with those, because those have some problems, there's some pricing problems there that might slow down the sales or even, slow down the closings of the buildings. I mean, there's a big difference when something across the street is selling for $9.25 a square foot, and you're going to take possession of a unit that you paid $12.50 a square foot for. There could be some problems. Like, absolutely, there could be some problems. So we will work through that, though, whether it takes 2 years, 2.5 years. There could be some real issues there. We'll work through it. But what does this slowdown in new construction of residential in Ontario really mean? It means a friggin' disaster, a goddamn disaster on the horizon. Because, first of all, we're creating more scarcity. If we stopped building large amounts of single-family homes in Ontario in 2008. Like that came to an end in 2008. We were building fewer and fewer. 80% of the new homes in Ontario in 2022 and 2021 were high-rise. So good luck on that. All right, scarcity means higher prices. And then, because that's just supply and demand, it's not hard to understand. And then because we have loaded up huge development fees and and all kinds of costs and delays and problems in the building of new subdivisions for single family homes or for semis, well, those prices have to be high. I mean, the builder has to pay out about $300,000 just to start. Just to start, hasn't built anything yet. Maybe more, maybe $350,000. So those prices have to be super high. Now, if you follow the narrative here of extreme scarcity in Ontario of low-rise homes and incredibly high development fees everywhere you go, and really, really tough building requirements, some of the toughest in the world, building standards, and incredibly long permitting processes, particularly for whole new subdivisions where you might need 22 reports before you can apply for a permit to build a couple of hundred homes. It leads to this insidious problem of, if the new homes have to be so expensive, they're creating a floor price under the old resale homes. Like if a 3,600 square foot brand new home needs to be $2 million, then I guess a 2,400 square foot home that's 20 years old is sure as hell going to be worth $1.7 million, even if it shouldn't be, even if it's old and run down and not in a particularly wonderful neighborhood. Okay? You see, it's a prop under the price of low-rise single-family semis. It's all these things, the scarcity and the huge development costs have become a prop that underpins the super high cost of resale. This is literally one of the dumbest situations that you could ever think to have. Guarantees of super high priced low-rise homes and not building any more. How could it be worse? I don't know.